Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. Luna is here with me today to help talk about my 5 favorite plants for the month of June. So I'm gonna let her just kind of crawl around back here. That's usually what she does, and we'll get started. So the first plant in my 5 favorite plants this month is going to be my Anthurium crystallineum, and this is the newest leaf. I don't even think I need to put a hand up for it to focus because this leaf is huge. I'll put it up next to my head, and I can't believe that about a year ago now, I think I bought it in July, so 11 months. I bought this as a seedling. It was so tiny. I don't have any photos of it because the day that I bought it, I actually burnt it to a crisp. I had just moved here to Texas. A couple months prior, I went to Wild Roots Nursery, which you would have seen in a recent video. I went there for the first time, and I bought this and a couple other plants, and I left them in a hot car on a 105-degree day for 2 hours. And so all of the leaves melted. It looked terrible. I thought it was a goner. I thought it was dead, but it wasn't. It just kept growing and growing, and each leaf was getting bigger. This leaf is on the way out now. It is the oldest leaf, but I did recently pot this. It was in a little 12-ounce plastic cup. I potted it to this container. It has a cache pot. I don't think I can get it out. It's kind of like very snug in there, but it has a cache pot because I just wanted to keep that outer container nice. And yeah, that is my crystallineum. I honestly couldn't believe, with my pretty low humidity, I would say, that I could get an Anthurium to grow so well. I mean, it does have cosmetic damage on like every leaf, but I don't really care. I love it. So yeah, if you have low humidity, this is a sign that you can still grow Anthuriums and they'll still look beautiful. The next plant is one that I have not shown you all before, so I'm very excited, and that is going to be my little Hoya and glariana. Let me take out the tag so you can see it better. But this is my cutie. It is the worst plant ever to photograph because the leaves are so tiny. It reminds me of rosemary, but it's been growing really well for me. I actually, when I got it, it was just this strand and it was maybe like this big. It was super tiny. This grew out, not even quite this long. It probably grew out to here. Didn't grow for the longest time. Then it put out a new offshoot. Then this started growing again. And now it's recently put out 3 little offshoots at the bottom. And it's just been doing really well for me. I've really enjoyed having this plant around. It's a very unique Hoya. I don't have another one like it in my collection, and I am hoping someday that I will get it to bloom because I have a feeling the blooms are gonna be just as cute as the plant is. So that is my Hoya and glariana. The next plant in my 5 favorite plants this month is going to be my Philodendron white wizard. And this is such an easy care philodendron. I really enjoy having it around. I'm loving the variegation on it. Each leaf puts out really balanced variation, except for this one. This one has way too much white. But other than that, each leaf has a really good balance of variegation. I do need to take it out of this pot, which originally had a Hoya in it, but other than that, it's been doing really well. It's been really upright so far. I've been rotating it a lot, so I get a good sort of balance of leaves all around and has light right above it in my cabinet. I do have to kind of keep it shaded though, because let me see if it's on any of these leaves. Yeah, it's on this one. They will get sunburn super easily. This one just has a little bit. This one actually has quite a bit of sunburn on it. All of those kind of rusty colors, that sunburn. I have noticed that the Philodendron royal family, variegated philodendrons, like the white wizard, the white princess, the pink princess, they really don't like high light. They are very sensitive to it and it will burn their leaves. So I actually keep this one in shade for the most part. A couple of the leaves will kind of reach out and the grow light will touch them. I just kind of have other plants covering it, so it gets that filtered light in a way, and it's been working really well. It helps keep the variegation at a balance, like I said, and other than that, it's been super easy care. I don't ever have to worry about it. I can even underwater it a little bit and it will always forgive me, so that's why I love it so much. The next plant is going to be my Monstera El Salvador. These are the newest leaves on it. I really need to get this on a pole. I have been slacking off, but it's just so beautiful. I am in love with this plant. I'm loving how all of the leaves are facing the same way right now, I think except for this one, but it's super cute just to look at sort of from the front. The back, not so much. But I am loving that these leaves are naturally just bigger than the regular Siltepecana. They have so much more silver, and I really want to get this on a pole because then it will eventually fenestrate. Most of the Siltepecana that we see are really small. A lot of people have them trailing, and thus we don't know that they will actually fenestrate like a lot of other Monstera. So I am very, very excited about that. And I'm hoping that it will do that quickly. I might have to chop it a few times once it gets to the top of the pole if it's not fenestrating at that point, but I have pretty good faith in this one. I'm starting out with some decent sized leaves. I do have 3 plants in this pot. When I bought it, I thought I only had 2. So the fact that there's 3 in here is a really nice surprise. I got it a month or 2 ago, so I haven't had it that long. The first few weeks I actually had it in quarantine, and now I have it in with the rest of my collection in this room. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put it on top of my Millsbow Wide with my other plants that are climbing on poles. So it'll just be a really nice look for all of those plants. So that is my Monstera El Salvador. The last plant in my 5 favorite plants this month is a big one. It's a Hoya, of course, and that is gonna be my Hoya Ficus. I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Don't know how to say it. This one has surprised me. I flew it back with me from Pennsylvania a couple months ago when I was traveling there, and I thought that I had really stressed it out and that it wasn't growing, because it eventually grew this leaf at the top here, but I didn't really, I mean, it's killed off the rest of the stem, so I thought, oh, I just stressed it out. What I didn't realize is that it was actually growing the entire time from the lower parts, and I did not notice. So it recently grew this leaf here, and then it also grew this giant one in the middle here. I don't know what made this leaf so much bigger than every other leaf on the plant. It's very hard to show it off with this trellis setup. And I think it grew one other leaf somewhere. I just don't know where. It might have been one of these singular leaves here. They're all hardened off now, except for this big one, which I can't believe that it's still growing. But I was pleasantly surprised by that it was still growing, even though it wasn't growing in the way I would have expected it to. I'm thinking at some point it will probably push out another vine. I did recently repot it into here, gave it a cash pot because it was in a very tiny 3-inch container and it was just falling over constantly as soon as I brought it home. It just couldn't, there was too much plant for the pot and it couldn't sustain itself. So I gave it, it was on a little pole, I gave it a trellis to wrap around, so that should also encourage some growth. I put in some fertilizer, so hopefully it will be nice and happy and giving me more growth soon. But so far it's been pretty easy going. Like I said, it was growing without me even realizing it. So this is A+ Hoya so far, and that's why it's one of my favorites for this month. All right, so that is going to be it for us today. These were my 5 favorite plants for the month of June. Not as many Hoyas today. I feel like normally 3 or 4 of them are all Hoyas, but I hope you enjoyed them just as I did. If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything from me and the kitties. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.